Hello and welcome. You are watching the 12 Report on News Central. I am Judith Atibi, standing in for Blessings Musugo. The headlines. As CSOs stage protests at National Assembly demand immediate passage of Electoral Amendment Bill. And from there, Nigeria's former oil minister Alison Madueke's corruption trial begins or continues in the UK. And off to Senegal as the country arrests 14 members of alleged pedophile gang. It's the 12 Report, and that means we have live coverage and reportage from different parts of the country and beyond, starting with Idong Joseph and Joshua Marayi, who are on standby in Abuja. In Lagos, Israel Feroba will join us later. In Abia State, Chinwe Ugeli is on standby. And from London, our senior international correspondent and anchor, Hafia Hagen, will be with us. We've got the details in a moment. Welcome. And we'll begin with news as a coalition of civil society organizations and youth groups are protesting at the National Assembly, demanding the immediate passage of the Electoral Amendment Bill with a focus on mandatory electronic transmission of election results. The coalition under the banner #Occupy NASS say the action is aimed at avoiding rigging and at strengthening transparency and restoring public confidence in Nigeria's electoral process. Now, former presidential candidate of Labour Party, Peter Obi, who also joined in the demonstration, spoke to our correspondent.
We are certain that, but we need to address our concerns about this country and the election. What we want is an electoral process that is transparent from beginning to finish. Our demands about the amendment is simple. Let us have an amendment that allows first, let no qualification of people who want to contest the election. And that qualification must be advertised. So if anybody says, I went to this primary school, I went to this secondary school, I went to this university, people are supposed to know about that. And that process has to continue through party primaries and everything. And finally, the election must be transmitted electronically from the polling booth direct. Yes. We don't want any point any longer. Let people watch it. That's what is happening in South Africa. That's happening in Ghana. That's happening everywhere. The giants of Africa have refused to be giants in anything. We cannot continue to shame Africa. We now want giants of Africa to be true giants of Africa. And the only way we can do it is to live a transparent, honest life, starting from our election process.
News Central's Idong Joseph is on standby at the protest grounds and joins us now for more updates on the ongoing protest. Idong, many thanks for joining us. What's the situation of things where you're at the moment?
Good afternoon, Judith. We are still at the National Assembly, the main entrance of the National Assembly, where the gate into the complex is still locked. As early as 8 a.m. this morning, a couple of civil society organizations gathered here just to register their presence and to make demand on the Electoral Amendment Act, which is undergoing a review in the National Assembly, and are seeking a mandatory transmission of election results from polling units in real time. And if you can see behind me here, you see a couple of crowds are still here. People are still here, and most of those who are here are civil, human rights activists. Those from the civil society organization and family of from the civil society, they've left here. And if you turn to my right here, there's a beef up of security right from 6 a.m. this morning down to this point. They are still here. Security operatives are all around here. Just to ensure that there is no breakdown of law and order here. And I have someone from the and so I'll just walk up to Precious Oruchi, who is a human rights activist here, to also speak to us on some of the demands that they are making here today. So please, can you talk to us why you're here today?
We are just here for one reason.
and it's for our votes to count. That is the key thing. That is why you see everybody here. Both the rich, the poor, educated, uneducated. We are just here. One thing binds us all. For the votes to count. You understand? That's all. That's why we are here. It's not much.
So I want to understand, how would this change bring a reform in the electoral process?
It will make the votes to count. Mandatory electronic transmission of results.
So are you trying to say
not that we will be asleep in the middle of the night and then you announce whatever you wish. Let it be transmitted. Let's see our results be transmitted. Let our votes count. Have our votes be counting? You're asking me, I should be asking you, have our votes be counting? It's not been counting. Did it count 2023? It did not count. They know it did not count. And they know that this particular clause will make the vote probably count. And that's why they quickly stepped it down. The criminality in the 10th assembly must be stopped. It must be stopped. It's too much. Every time there's one or two altercations, whenever they are passing bills, during the tax reform, that's how senators were shouting that it is not what they deliberated for that was being passed. It is not what they deliberated for. Now, senators are even still clamoring that it is not what they said that is being passed. Instead of transmit, they put transfer. This whole corniness, this whole criminality of the Senate president has to stop. Nigerians are exhausted. Nigerians are tired. At this point in time, it's do, I don't want to use the D language, but it's do or D. Our votes just needs to count. That's it. If they want peace in this country, I'm not threatening war, our votes needs to count.
Thank you very much. Okay, Judith, from here you hear that what they want is their votes to be counted. The current, the existing Electoral Act prescribed that NEC should prescribe whatever means they want election results to be transmitted. And there's a proposal in the assembly here, which the House of Representatives adopted, and that stipulates that election results should be transmitted in real time from the polling unit. But the Senate, on the other hand, insisting that what exists should be maintained, and that's the Assembly have inaugurated a conference committee to harmonize the bill between the two chambers. And this, they are making just one demand for votes to be counted in real time from the polling unit. So that is just the demand of everyone who have come here. And earlier today, just as you saw earlier, Peter Obi came here and also made the same demand that votes should be counted from polling units, should be transmitted rather from polling units, rather than allowing NEC to prescribe whatever means it wants to transmit votes.
I must say thank you for that update there. Idong Joseph, our correspondent, live from the front of the National Assembly buildings as civil societies have gathered to protest against the removal of transmission electronically of votes as 2027 elections are on the way. In the meantime, a civil society group, the Community Outreach for Development and Welfare Advocacy, has demanded a thorough and transparent investigation into allegations of evidence tampering in the ongoing 10 billion naira fraud case involving Ali Bello as well as Daudu Sulaiman and others. The group, during a protest in Abuja, a short distance from the FCT Police Command, urged the Nigerian Police Force, the Department of State Services, and other security agencies to enforce an order of the Federal High Court presided over by Justice James Omotosho, which reportedly exposed the alleged incident. There's live visuals there from the protest from earlier. Now joining us is our correspondent Joshua Marai, who was live at the protest but joins us from the Abuja studios. Joshua, many thanks for joining us. What more do we know about these allegations that was, levied against this individuals that have been arraigned in court, and the court order that has been issued by Justice James Omotosho?
Good afternoon to you, Judy. It all started from last week Thursday when Justice James Omotosho called for his court registrar, an open court, who testified that yes, he was approached by the second defendant in this 10 billion naira case, a person named Nasiru Zuberi. He was approached by Daudu Suleiman, who is a second defendant in this case, and Daudu Suleiman promised Nasiru Zuberi a landed property in Abuja, saying he had accommodation issues, and it was solved that he should just go ahead to the solve of the evidence in an exhibit tender before the court, and that exhibit is a mobile phone in custody of the court. So what these individuals who you are seeing on live pictures are saying is that this investigation should be made thorough and public, that no stone should be left unturned, that But for a fact that this alleged individual, suspected individuals, went ahead to delete some court records shows that there seems to be shady dealings between the defendant and the registrar, and everything should be investigated properly and made open. They also called on the Nigerian police force to ensure that they go on with the order of the court by Justice James Omotosho to investigate who is involved, what was promised, and who should be prosecuted. So that is on Juliet.
Right. And just looking at what happened just outside there, very close to the FCT Police Command, what can you tell us about the protest? And do you see it having some sort of impact on the ongoing proceedings at the court?
Overall, the protest was quite peaceful. Earlier on, when they wanted to commence the protest, some policemen attached to the FCT command actually approached them. This sort of limited the protest to a confined location, particularly around that area, few distance from the FCT Police Command. But after the entire process, after the entire demonstration, they submitted a petition to one of the police officers, who they believe in turn will submit that same petition to the Commissioner of Police, because this alleged crime is within the jurisdiction of the FCT Command. So they are saying that necessary steps should be taken to ensure that whoever is guilty of any allegation should be prosecuted as such.
Joshua, thank you so much. We appreciate you for that update there. Joshua Marayi is our correspondent live there from the Abuja studios. Moving away now to Lagos, as members of the Lagos State House of Assembly Committee on Rules and Business are visiting Makoko waterfront communities for an on-the-site or on-the-spot assessment following the recent demolitions. Now, the visit follows a petition and a meeting held last week between lawmakers and community leaders seeking intervention and relief for affected residents. Israel Iferobo has been tracking this development since the news broke and how the story has been evolving. And he joins us live just at the waterfront there. Joshua, a very good afternoon to you. I can see you at top of the water. Talk to me. Where are you at the moment and what's the latest with this story?
Well, certainly, Judith, good afternoon to you. You've been tracking this story for quite some time now, as huge as the livelihoods and well-being of the people of this particular. Yes, indeed. And why are we here? State Assembly will be here any moment from now to speak to these people and also to have an understanding.
I apologize, we can't give you that live reportage, thanks to network issues there right on the water. Israel Iferobo is our correspondent who is just at the Makoko waterfront community as we await members of the Lagos State House of Assembly to arrive for on-the-spot assessment. Let's go on a short break, shall we? When we come back, we head to Abia as a sit-at-home cancellation. This is supposed to begin this Monday. We have the updates of that after the break. Stay with us. And you're welcome back. Now, earlier we informed you that Israel Iferobo, our correspondent, is live at the Makoko waterfront community as he awaits members of the Lagos State House of Assembly for an on-the-spot assessment following demolitions that happened just weeks earlier. Israel, just give us an overview as we await the members. What's going on where you're at?
Well, thank you so much, Judith. Earlier on, I was trying to say that we are indeed here at the Makoko waterfront community. We are literally on top of the water. I can really kind of stand right now because the boat is shaky. The members of the House of Assembly will be here any minute to have an on-the-spot assessment of what has happened here in terms of demolitions and destruction of the homes of these people that you see on your screen. The community are also waiting for them just across. That's there, so they're waiting for them as well. And they're coming here to just have an assessment of just how far the demolition went that affected the lives of the people of Makoko community, as well as the Shogoro community and Okeagbon community, all here in the Makoko area of Lagos State. So this is the situation right now. The members of the House of Assembly, a boat has gone to bring them to this area. Myself and a couple of journalists are waiting for them here to welcome them and then see how this will pan out eventually, Judith.
For that, Israel Iferobo there is our correspondent just live at the Makoko waterfront community awaiting the members of the Lagos State House of Assembly. We switch gears from Lagos and we head to Aria International Market in Aba, as traders have largely ignored the announced cancellation of the sit-at-home order by a group claiming to represent the prescribed indigenous people of Biafra. Now, while commercial activities are gradually resuming across parts of Aba and Umuahia, major markets remain mostly shut, with only a small fraction of traders daring to open their shops for business today. And live from Abia State, News Central's Chinwe Ogeli joins me now for more on this situation. Chinwe, thank you so much for joining us. I do have to ask, from just behind you there, I can see most shops are closed. Talk to me.
Thank you very much. This is the question. Later on, I will carry on to number. We have observed that 99 drops in the law. Even the market open, they went to the open when the street are open. So can't shop open to so customer administration system. And we are in a construction in the every large they will just have so fashion of things around to be that money. It's a fine order, but kind of message from being said. So obviously the people have to comply with the place.
Chinwe, thank you so much for that update. I wish we could continue there, but we seem to be having issues there with your network connectivity. We'll try to bring the live reportage there from Chinwe Ogeli as well as Alex Ogunaya. Both are in the southeast just following Monday's cancellation of sit-at-home orders, but nonetheless, traders are still continuing this order. We'll move away from that to London's courtroom for the continuing trial of Diezani Madueke, that's Diezani Alison Madueke, Nigeria's former Minister of Petroleum Resources, once one of the most powerful figures in Africa's oil sector. Alison Madueke now stands at the center of an international legal battle involving allegations of corruption, money laundering, and the misuse of public funds. Now, the case, unfolding thousands of miles from Nigeria, is being closely watched both at home and abroad, raising fresh questions about accountability, cross-border justice, and how alleged financial crimes linked to public office are pursued on the global stage. You're watching News Now on News Central Television. Let's go on a short break. When we come back, there's plenty. Stay with us. It's the 12 Report. You're welcome back. We'll switch our gears now to London's courtroom for the continuing trial of Diezani Alison Madueke, Nigeria's former Minister of Petroleum Resources, who was once one of the most powerful figures in Africa's oil sector. Alison Madueke now stands at the center of an international legal battle involving allegations of corruption, money laundering, and the misuse of public funds. News Central's senior international correspondent Afia Hagen is in London and will bring us the very latest from the courts. Afia, many thanks for joining us. You've been at the court today. Talk to us. What's the latest with this case?
And we have been hearing from the defence this morning. Now, this is really centred around Alison Madueke's shopping habits today. We have been hearing from a Mr. Taverner who works at Thomas Good. Now, to give you some context, Thomas Good is a luxury tableware store in Mayfair. So it sells things like tables, chairs, china, crystal, cutlery, all those types of things. And we've been hearing about Diezani Alison Madueke's shopping habits in that store. Now, Mr. Taverner was going through different statements, some of the detailing, how much money was spent in those stores. Some quite astronomical figures there, into the thousands of pounds. One invoice that we saw was for £14,344, one for £19,533, one for £3,789. Now, what was interesting about these statements is that sometimes they were made out to the co-defendants that Mr. Aluko, sometimes made out to Miss Madueke. And this was all about trying to establish how she shopped, when she was in these stores and who paid for the items that she was buying, the sideboards, the tables, the chairs. There was also the frequency of how many times she was at the Thomas Goods store. She clearly had a very good relationship with them, shopping over a period of 2012 to 2013. We also heard that sometimes she paid the bills, sometimes some of her associates, people in her entourage, paid the bills. So really at the moment, what the defence is trying to do is establish the shopping habits of Miss Madueke, but most importantly, who paid for the items that she bought when she was in store, establishing whether that was her, establishing whether it was some of the co-defendants, to try and really figure out whether she was getting these kickbacks for promoting the business of those around her.
So one has to ask about, the state of, or the stage of this proceedings. What's the prosecution trying to nail with all of this?
Now, the prosecution really is about joining the dots. So this is about putting it all together. So we have the statements from the store. We're going to have bank statements as well. We've got testimony from different people involved, whether that's sales clerks, like we've heard from Thomas Good, whether that's sales clerks at another store, whether that is the other defendants. It's all about putting this all together, about who moved where, about what money moved where, about who benefited, about what transactions were disguised. It's all about joining the dots at the moment and really building up this case.
Very quickly, before I let you go, what new evidence or testimony stood out to you most this week, and why is it significant to you?
I think what really stood out about what I've heard so far is the level of detail of which we have about Miss Madueke's shopping habits, about what she bought, when she bought it, how many times she was in the store, whether she called ahead, whether the salesperson called her. It's really about building up that picture of how much was spent and, most importantly, where that money is coming from.
And just lastly, let's look at the strength of or direction of the prosecution's case as the trial enters into its third week. Are we seeing a shift in the prosecution's case?
Yes, we are going to see a shift in the prosecution's case. This is about establishing scale and establishing the structure of what has gone on with Alison Madueke and her co-defendants. Like I said, it's about joining the dots. So how big was the alleged fraud? How deep did it go? Who was involved in the amounts of money? Establishing scale and establishing structure is very important for the prosecution this week.
Afia, many thanks for the update. We appreciate you. Afia Hagen, there's our senior international correspondent and anchor from London courtrooms there as Alison Madueke's case continues at the court. So switch gears now to security, as President Bola Tinubu has held security talks with the commander of the United States Africa Command, General Dangvin Anderson, at the presidential villa in Abuja. The meeting comes amid deepening security operation between Nigeria and the United States, particularly following the December 25th airstrikes on suspected terrorist camps in Sokoto State. In a brief statement, the State House Media Office confirmed the visit through photographs shared with journalists. AFRICOM had earlier disclosed that the Sokoto airstrikes were conducted at the direction of the U.S. President and the Secretary of War in coordination with Nigerian authorities. The engagement also follows the recent redesignation of Nigeria by U.S. President Donald Trump as a, quote, country of particular concern. Let's bring you some business news as Nigeria needs about $22 billion in pipeline investments to unlock its gas potential, according to the NNPC Gas Master Plan 2026. Now, despite holding Africa's largest gas reserves at about 210 trillion cubic feet, Nigeria ranks only 16th globally in production. NNPC said the current 2,500 kilometer gas network is inadequate, pushing for completion of key projects like AKK and OB3 pipelines. Now, gas demand is projected to exceed supply by 2030, driven by power and gas-based industries. The plan targets 80% gas monetization by 2030, elimination of routine flaring by 2027, which is next year, and production growth to 12 BCF per day. The Bank of Industry, BOI, has received approval from the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, to operate a non-interest banking NIB window, expanding its financial framework. BOI's managing director, Dr. Olasupo Olusi, said the move will deepen access to ethical asset-backed financing for underserved and high-impact businesses. The non-interest window allows BOI to finance assets and raw materials without interest, promoting risk sharing and inclusive growth. The approval reflects CBN's confidence in BOI's governance and supports MSMEs and the real economy. In 2024, BOI dispersed about 1.27 trillion naira, supporting over 9,000 jobs nationwide. Let's quickly circle back to Imo State, the southeast of Nigeria. Monday means sit-at-home orders, which has also been asked by the government to be cancelled. And so joining us now is Alex Ogbonnaya, who is live in Imo State, just to give us a bit of update on this. Alex, a very good afternoon to you. Tell me, where are you and what's the update?
Good afternoon to you too. I am in Owerri, but a particular place called Tetlo. This is Tetlo in Owerri. Tetlo is like, let me just give you an idea of what this place looks like. This is Lagos. This is like the computer village of Owerri, where you can buy all manner of phones and you can repair all manner of phones. That's where I am now. And if you look around, you will see shops are opened, meaning that people around here have embraced this new development. But before now, though, they've always come out on Mondays. Not everybody, though, because as it is, it's an individual thing. But most importantly, because this is Owerri, the capital city, nothing really happens here. But if you want to feel the impact at home, it's in the hinterland, that's the rural areas where you don't really have much security. People are vulnerable. But here in Owerri, you have the presence of heavy police officers. So, people are a bit comfortable coming out to do their thing. So that's how it is here. But we spoke to a couple of persons concerning the new developments, and they've been satisfied, but then they have a problem. The problem is, anything could happen in the next few days. What is security measures, or what measures are the government or security people taking to ensure that there is no going back to the sit-at-home era? But one thing they know is they need to come out to look for what to feed or what to eat and take care of their family. So sit-at-home is really not for them.
I must say thank you, Alex, for that update. Alex Ogbonnaya, they are correspondent live from Imo, just updates there, giving that Monday. And, of course, the sit-at-home order. You're watching the 12 report coming up. Senegal arrests 14 members of alleged pedophile gang. We have the details after the break. Stay with us. Hey, welcome back. And the news continues in West Africa, where police in Senegal have arrested 14 people accused of belonging to transnational pedophile network operating between Senegal and France. Investigators say the group has been active since 2017 and is accused of exploiting young boys and recording the acts for distribution. All suspects, who are Senegalese nationals, have been arraigned before a judge on charges including organized pedophilia, rape of minors, pimping, sodomy, and the international transmission of HIV/AIDS. Authorities say 4 of the suspects acted on the instructions of a French national arrested in northern France in April of 2025, allegedly in exchange for financial payments. The arrest followed coordinated police raids in several areas of Dakar and in the city of Kaolack. And off to Ukraine, as Ukrainian officials say at least 3 people have been killed after overnight Russian drone strikes on Ukraine cities of Odessa and Kharkiv. Now, the authorities say the attacks caused fires, destroyed homes, and damaged critical infrastructure. Iranian-made drones reportedly struck the southern port city of Odessa, igniting fires in residential buildings and damaging a gas pipeline. Officials confirmed the death of a 65-year-old man, while the others, including a 19-year-old girl, were injured. In the Kharkiv region, emergency services recovered the bodies of a woman and a 10-year-old boy after another drone strike, with 3 more people wounded. The latest attacks come as Russia continues bombardments while holding U.S.-backed talks with Ukraine to end the war. Now, for postscripts, there are moments when the headlines should shake us into sober reflections. Today, Nigeria is living through two of them. Last week, suspected jihadist fighters descended on villages in Kwara State, killing more than 170 men, women, and children in one of the deadliest assaults our country has seen this year. Homes were burned, mothers buried their children, communities were left bereft. Only then did the state respond with troops deployed under a new military operation to stem further carnage. The message, unavoidably clear, is that our security posture remains reactive, not proactive. Millions of Nigerians live with the fear that insurgents can reach deeper into our heartland with impunity, and that the state's protective hand arrives only after devastation strikes. At the same time, in Abuja, another crisis of confidence is unfolding, a crisis of trust in our democratic process. The Senate's decision to reject a mandatory real-time electronic transmission of election results has ignited a wave of protests, including the Occupy National Assembly movement, and increasing pressure from the Nigerian Labour Congress and NLC. The Labour Union has warned of nationwide protests and even a boycott of the 2027 elections entirely, framing the Senate's choice not as technical nuance, but as a direct threat to electoral credibility. So, insecurity at home and uncertainty at the ballot box both speak to the same fear that ordinary Nigerians are unprotected and unheard. The cost of violence is immediate and human as well. The cost of eroded trust is slow, don't get me wrong, but equally corrosive. A nation cannot secure its people if its people cannot trust the process that chooses those meant to protect them. So at this point we ask, what's the point of democracy? And that's your postscript. Let's choose you for a bit of in the game, shall we? Nigeria stormed into the Davis Cup World Cup 2 second round after a thrilling 3-1 win over Uzbekistan. And Daniel, my goodness, Daniel Deleye, he led the charge over this weekend. Now, Udoka Njoku was not there. I was there, so I could tell you more about it. But all the same, Udoka, talk to me. It was, goodness me. It was fun.
Definitely a great win for Nigeria right there against Uzbekistan, still in the qualifier for the next round, which will happen in September. So we congratulate the team. And there's a whole lot more juicy information about what happened yesterday at the tennis club. But we'll give you more of that information right here on In the Game, which starts in a couple of minutes' time.
Oh, yes. All I have to say is, Daniel, let's go, Daniel. That was the chant we were chanting all through at the Lagos Tennis Club. It was so much fun. A big shout out to the Lagos team. I cannot wait for September. I do hope we still get to host again. Only time will tell. But anyway, make sure to tune in at 1 p.m. Udoka is live and waiting for us for In the Game. And that's pretty much all we can take right here on the 12 Report. Many thanks for watching. Now, do remember, if you see anything out there on the roads, make sure to send us your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number now showing up on the screen. And while you're at it, make sure to follow us on social media. We're at News Central TV on every social media platform. You can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, Go TV channel 23, Star Times channel 274, Apple TV, and on YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I am Judith, the TV. Bye for now.